Pakistan is not unraveling, much as many of the people in India would like it to happen.
Yeah.
I don't think it's unraveling just yet, but I think it is just going to be in a right royal mess for the foreseeable future, which works for us, which gives us a lot of time to increase the gap in capability between us and them.
Hello and welcome. You are on our daily evening program, The Gist. I'm Nitin Gokhale. A little over 24 hours ago, Pakistan's former Prime Minister Imran Khan was picked up by the Rangers from the court where he was appearing, and which has led to turmoil in different parts of Pakistan. And 24 hours later, we still don't know which way it is going, what the army is going to do in Pakistan, which of course determines Pakistan's present and future all the time. But even in that uncertain situation, we need to try and understand why this has happened and where this is going. And who better than Sushan Sareen, a Pakistan specialist, well-known commentator, to give us an idea of what exactly he thinks is happening in Pakistan and where is it leading to. Welcome, Sushant, and let me get your first reaction to what you saw yesterday, and where do you think Imran Khan made a mistake, and what has the army done this? Why has the army done this rather than what the army has done? Your thoughts?
If you ask me personally, Nitin, I saw it with a feeling of Schadenfreude. Um, Frankly, he took a lot of vicarious pleasure in what is happening. But when I put on my analyst's hat, look, one is that what is surprising is that it has taken so long for the Pakistan army or the Pakistani establishment and the Pakistan government to to move against Imran Khan. Right? They've given him a very long rope over the last 1 year or so, and he's breached their red lines plenty of times. But I think the statement which he issued uh, 2 days back against the serving, I think the number two in the ISI, um, against him and a couple of other officers, that they are trying to assassinate him. And then the ISPR reacted, and it was very clear that okay, now the end game is coming. Uh, I think there was always an expectation that there would be a reaction from the zombies who are part of the Imran cult. But I think nobody really factored in the kind of reaction which came, the violence which followed, the that I think was not entirely anticipated. It should have been after what the scenes we saw in Lahore, when the police had gone to arrest him or deliver him a warrant or whatever. Uh, this should have been expected, but I don't think it was. And not only was there the intensity of the reaction factored in, I think the scale of the reaction,
Yeah, it is
uh,
very widespread.
very
Sure.
widespread, right? It
Hmm.
happened in urban Sindh, in Karachi, particularly. It happened in virtually all parts of Punjab. It happened in, or at least central and north Punjab. It happened in KP. It happened in Quetta. So I think that was not entirely factored in,
Hmm.
and that took these guys by surprise. But what is clear is that Imran Khan, look, if Imran Khan comes out on top after what has happened between yesterday and today, uh, he will be he will be you can't touch him after that. He'll
He'll be
be
unstoppable. Yeah,
he'll be
absolutely.
unstoppable. He'll be the king emperor. He'll be the Hitler of Pakistan. And Hitler is the correct analogy because heart of hearts, he is a fascist. He's an Islamo-fascist actually, because he uses Islam and then he uses fascist tactics, and he's an unabashed Islamist. So that he'll be unassailable, but not for very long, because
Right.
Pakistan has such deep crises, which a demagogue like him will simply not be able to handle. So whatever his popularity is right now
Hmm.
will get whittled down and will disappear within maybe a year, maybe 2 years, and by that time, somebody will chop his neck off.
Right. So
Now,
Pakistan
if he
Army has a
doesn't,
challenge. Yeah.
but
No, yeah. Go ahead. Go ahead.
if
Hmm.
he doesn't come out on top,
Hmm.
then again he is history,
Right.
because it is at least it's very clear to me, and I
Hmm.
might be proven wrong, but I think they are going to eliminate him from Pakistani politics for all time to come. I don't see any place for Imran Khan in the Pakistani political structure anymore. And they will. The only question is, will they eliminate him only politically or also physically? And I
Physically.
won't put the latter past the Pakistani state, simply because in some cases it's much more convenient to eliminate a person physically than politically, because politically we've seen that every time they've tried to eliminate somebody, the guy's made a comeback.
Right.
You
Nawaz
know,
Sharif
we've
is
seen
a
it.
classic example.
Nawaz, Benazir Bhutto, you name the
Yeah.
person, they've made a comeback, right?
Absolutely.
So it's safer to eliminate somebody politically, लेकिन थोड़े ढंग से, style से,
Exactly.
you
Give
do
it
it with a
time.
certain amount of sophistication, make it look natural, make it look,
Hmm.
something which happened, an act of God kind of a thing, and they're
Sure.
quite good at it. Uh,
Yeah.
because look, if you put him in jail, he becomes a lightning rod, right, for all
Right.
his supporters. If you exile him, he will play havoc with you. Like some of his chelas are doing, sitting in London and Washington and coming out with these YouTube videos, social
Sure.
media,
Hmm.
posts. He'll do that, and the army has absolutely no way of countering it. if you
Right.
uh, if you disqualify him, it doesn't matter because he's politically alive, even if
Right.
he's disqualified. And if you ban his party, the party will come up in another raftar. Just say you had the Lashkar-e-Taiba become the Jamaat-ud-Dawa and continue
Sure.
business as usual. So
Correct.
the only thing which really makes sense is to put him in jail for some time, and then uh, wait for the act of God. Uh, and God can be
Yeah.
defined in various ways.
In various ways, yes. I know you've seen Pakistan enough, but that is one Hobson's choice for the Pakistan Army. Does it ride out the popular protest for a while? Because after all, Pakistan Army's own strength also comes from Punjab, isn't it, Sushant? That's the whole issue. If Punjab is burning, if Punjab is protesting in a large way or on a large scale, then that dilemma will be there. How much can they crack down? Will they sort of reap the benefits, or will it go against them? Must be a dilemma in the Pakistani army's leadership's mind, or how do you see it?
No, you're absolutely right. In fact, that dilemma is a very real dilemma. See, it's not just about Punjab. The bigger problem is that uh, the, the section of the population which is like the core constituency. It's not Punjab per se. Look, Imran is popular, I don't deny it, right?
Right.
But the other guys are no spring chickens. They
Sure.
also have their huge pockets of support. So it's not just
Mm,
that it's Imran Khan and nobody else.
mm.
Or it's Imran Khan and the Pakistan army.
Right.
But for the Pakistan army, the dilemma is that the uh, the real core constituency of both of them in Punjab is the same,
Correct.
and that is where the problem comes. Uh, and the thing is, but so part of the problem is that the Pakistan army, as an organization, has often closed ranks behind their leaders or their generals against everybody else. But this time it becomes a lot more complicated because the uh, the pool from which the Pakistan army draws its support uh, includes their families, includes the Punjab elite, includes ex-servicemen, includes businessmen, professionals, lawyers, judges, their families, many of whom are rooting for Imran.
Right.
We've heard some of those leaks where the generals, their mother-in-laws, and you and I know mother-in-laws can be pretty ferocious. The mother-in-laws, imposing upon the chief justice, for example, or assuring people that how her son-in-law is going to rule, uh, or make a ruling. Stuff like that is happening. So that
Exactly.
kind of complicates matters. But
Mm. Mm.
what the Pakistan army has started doing is cracking the whip.
Mm.
It started cracking the whip within its own rank and file, and
Mm.
there have been wives of serving officers who have been arrested for creating disturbance. It's never happened
Mm.
in the past, right?
Never. Exactly. Mm.
So, and these are not captains and majors whose wives are being arrested. These are brigadiers and colonels whose wives are being arrested. And that very clear message is going that you can't be part of the military fraternity and also be part of a cult.
Mm.
This was something which had happened many years in the past, and there was a statement, if I'm not mistaken, by this fellow who was the ISPR chief,
Mm-hmm.
when they had banned the Hizbut Tahrir. At that
Okay.
point of time, Athar Abbas, who was the DG ISPR,
ISPF.
had made a
Mm.
statement. I don't know
Mm-hmm.
if you can pick it up, take it
Yeah.
out from somewhere, where he
Okay.
said that the army will not allow members of the army to become part of a cult.
Right.
That
Right.
same logic will be
Mm.
operating now in the case of Imran Khan.
Sure. So that of course is very clear that the Pakistani army cannot afford to lose control or afford to have its own ranks, sort of getting divided because of the cult following that some of them may have for Imran. But looking at the larger, framework, the world will be looking at Pakistan. It is in dire straits as it is economically and otherwise in the doghouse, let's say. So, does the Pakistani army also come under pressure that it cannot be seen as cracking down on a what could be seen as a popular upsurge? And Imran Khan being a popular leader, they would also be factoring in that international opinion, or do you think they don't care?
I think neither the world cares. Maybe New York Times does. Maybe Washington Post and the woke newspapers do.
Yeah,
But I don't think the world in general gives a damn. And I don't think the Pakistan army gives a damn. And for very
right.
good reason, right?
Hmm.
The
Hmm.
world wants to see that, these guys, these crazies in Pakistan, nuclear armed, infused with radical Islam, somebody needs to keep them under check. So, okay, if the Pakistan army is doing it, we'll hold our nose and just do
Sure.
what you have to do, right?
Hmm.
Yeah, we might, in case you take over power directly, which I'm skeptical about. Uh,
Hmm.
but they'll say, yeah, okay, fine, you've done this. Uh, okay, so you've done this, and what we'll do is that, we'll put some sanction, but don't worry, it won't hurt you beyond a point.
Right. Yeah.
On the other hand, even without the sanctions, they're not giving anything to the Pakistanis anyway.
As it is. Yes. Hmm.
So वैसे भी कुछ नहीं मिल रहा, so it doesn't make much of a difference to them.
True.
On the
True.
Pakistani side, their viewpoint will be that, look, okay, fine, maybe if there are sanctions, or we earn a bad press abroad, it affects our image a bit, but our image is already at the bottom, right? We are in the doghouse internationally anyway. So how much further can we go down, right? We are already at its nadir. But
Yeah.
more importantly, we need to intervene or we need to do what we need to do to save the state. So no matter what somebody says, our primary objective is to save the state, and then what will happen after that, we will see when we come to that bridge. But until now, because I'm going to come to that bridge, I'm not going to hold back. So I have to
Okay.
restore law and order. I cannot let this failed experiment of Imran Khan wreak havoc on Pakistan, and that's where matters stand.
I think that's where they will have a lot of introspection that their own experiment has
No,
failed
no,
in.
no, no, no. Yeah, this is your typical Indian predilection that now
Tell
they
me.
will rethink all the mistakes. They will not rethink. They will do
No,
the
no, on
same thing.
Imran. On Imran, I'm saying.
Imran is history, yeah, but they will pick up
No.
another Imran Khan. You wait and
So
see. It's
that
a matter of
they have
time.
to do. There's no other alternative to them. That of
Exactly.
course they
So,
don't have. Huh?
हाँ, तो वो
Huh.
इमरान तो is history. Imran is
Correct.
gone, finished.
Yeah.
ठीक
So
है?
what about the Sharifs? What happens to the Sharifs?
Yeah, at this point in time, I think the Sharifs are probably, in some ways, their best bet. Not all the
Uh-huh.
Sharifs, but I think they will cut some slack for Nawaz. Now, how the intra Sharif dynamic works, it's difficult to say. But I
Hmm.
think Nawaz would want to come back. He would, I don't know. There are some people who say that he would want to make a pitch for uh, for becoming a prime minister the fourth time. I'm not so sure of that.
Hmm.
Uh, but if he doesn't do that, he will probably let Shahbaz run the show for some time, and
Hmm.
then Shahbaz to be succeeded by Maryam, who still has age on her side. So if she has to wait for a couple of years, heavens are not going to fall. The
Sure.
Sharifs will come back and occupy the primary primacy of the political space. Um, but that is the calculation on paper.
Right.
But there is a whole lot of other things which are there, uh,
Hmm.
which are not going to stay what they are. The
Okay.
economy is going to tank. The security situation is terrible. There are a range of other political problems. There will be new political challenges which will come up. So, what happens 2 years from now, 3 years from now, whether Mariam will get a look into power as prime minister is difficult to say.
Mm-hmm.
And what are the new challenges that will emerge? What will be the new equations between the army and the political guys? Will the army then say, okay, fine, let us just use this 2 3 year period to try and get a second Imran Khan,
Hmm.
but somebody who's not as much of a megalomaniac as this character was, and
Could that
somebody
be
who has
Bilawal? Could that be Bilawal Bhutto?
no, Bilawal तो already is in the play, yaar. Bilawal and Bilawal is making the pitch that he's picked up as the preferred
Sure.
candidate. But
Correct.
then then you're back to the 90s where you had to pick up between the Sharifs and the Zardaris,
Yes.
right? So I think the Pakistan army would want to see somebody like Bilawal, but not again have an. But they would also like to have some option, a third option of sorts, which can, if
Mm-hmm.
nothing else, hold the balance of power.
Ah, okay.
Let's see
But
how that works.
that's 3 years down the line, let's say 2 or 3 years
Yeah,
down the
that's a
line.
couple of years down the
Yeah.
line.
So one last question on this in the current situation. Um, what should India do? Of course, watch in glee. I mean, like many would be doing. But would it have any fallout on the regional security situation? Do you think, or the Pakistani army is capable of handling the crisis within?
Yeah, as of now, I don't see any major regional implication of what is happening. I think what is happening in Pakistan works very good for us, um, because I've always maintained that a weak, unstable, poor Pakistan is in India's best interest. Of course, the geniuses, in India will say that a rich, prosperous, strong Pakistan, which constantly screws us over, is in our best interest. Um, I'm not masochistic, so I
Yeah.
believe that a weak Pakistan is best for us, and they're exactly where we want them.
Right.
Uh, Now, Pakistan is not unraveling, much as many of the people in India would like it to happen.
Yeah.
I don't think it's unraveling just yet, but I think it is just going to be in a right royal mess for the foreseeable future, which works for us, which gives us a lot of time to increase the gap in capability between us and them,
Sure.
right? And increase that distance between us and them. Uh, and this is an opportunity. We have about maybe 3 maybe 5 years to be able to do it and take it to a point where the Pakistanis understand that we are not in the fray anymore, really. We
I
can
think they've
probably
already
finger the
started
Indians.
understanding that. I can tell you from my friends elsewhere in the West. I'm sure you have heard this, that the Pakistanis have now started realizing. They've started writing at least sporadically that look at India. Like we should follow India's example of economic strength or development and all that. So I'm sure that they realize, and they'll realize it more as this situation deteriorates before it gets better. But
Yeah,
I
nay,
think,
nay,
nahin?
but now that you've provoked me by saying this, I have to
Oh,
say something.
tell
So,
me, tell me.
so for the last so many years, I've been hearing again the Pakistanis speak sporadically
Ah,
about how the Bangladeshis have passed them by, and nothing has hurt them more. You know
right,
that
exactly.
Bangladesh is overtaking them.
Sure.
That hasn't changed anything in Pakistan, has it? So yeah, there is this catharsis, there is this breast beating which happens in Pakistan that Bangladesh has overtaken them. But when you ask them that why don't you, do some hard work, why don't
Mm,
you change the structure, why don't you do reforms, that
mm.
they will not do. So be rest assured, they're not going to reform. They're not going to
Okay.
improve themselves. They'll continue doing what they are doing, which increases the gap between us and them, which is a perfect situation for us. And in the meanwhile, if nothing else, take out your popcorn and watch the show.
Great. On that note, and I defer to your, superior knowledge on Pakistan, and I take your word for it that this is good for us, but not so good for the people in Pakistan. But that's a different issue altogether. But thanks for your time, Sushant, and as always, very enjoyable discussion on this. Thank you very much. So,
Thanks, yeah.
viewers, there you have from somebody who knows Pakistan inside out, who watches it day in, day out. So, do listen to it, and of course, send your feedback and comments. We are on various social media handles. So do follow us and comment on the program, or the insights provided by Sushan Sareen, who's the one of the foremost experts in Pakistan and India. For the time being, it's goodbye.